we go. Zachary, Aymie. On top of your screen there, playing Dimir mid-range up against Jess Williams. There on Is It Cauldron.
Yeah, so we could talk a bit about this Dimir mid-range deck and its spot in the metagame. You did mention at the start of day one, it was our second most represented deck. So Dimir mid-range has been around forever. I mean, I played this deck at the World Championship a full year ago in Standard, and it hasn't changed that much. You know, it's still Spyglass Siren, Kaito, Enduring Curiosity, Black Removal Spells, all that stuff is familiar. This is often considered sort of, in the rock, paper, scissors analogy, it's the scissors deck.
Okay.
So not necessarily a huge favorite against Is It Cauldron itself, but it's a stone cold killer of, like, you know, brews and lower tier strategies, just because of the brutality of, like, I'm going to get this turn 3 Kaito, I'm going to kill your creatures, I'm going to counter your spells. It's really effective against a wide range of strategies. And the elite Dimir players like Zachary, who have made it this far, they've put together good, effective plans against Is It Cauldron, including sideboard cards like Annul, you know, well-placed, I guess we'll call it, like, strategic gameplay in knowing the right battles to fight, how to get ahead and stay ahead. So it's just a nice, well-rounded deck that performs well in the hands of a good player. So here you see Zachary nabbing the Agatha's Soul Cauldron activation with Tishana's Tidebinder. So not only is that Vivi not going to get exiled, not going to put a counter on fear of missing out, the Cauldron is going to be nullified, just rendered inert for as long as that Tishana's Tidebinder is on the battlefield.
The pot's not on the stove, Reed. They forgot to put the pot on the stove.
Icy cold.
So while Tishana's Tidebinder's hanging out there, Jess is going to be incentivized to try and remove it to get that game plan underway. But no critters left on the board here, as Zachary is able to bitter triumph away the fear of missing out. But 2 flyers in the air, doing a good job here of chipping down Jess's life total. These Spyglass Sirens, they're really annoying, especially if you just use the map tokens on them. 2/2 flyers, you know, they're going to get the job done over a game. And this is a card I'm most excited for to see in the Dimir midrange. This is a Sunset Saboteur, 4/1 with Menace. It's got Ward of discard a card, which can help out your opponents sometimes. You know, a little bit of a downside there. And also it gives your opponent's cards one counters, but this deck likes to kill stuff, so...
Super interesting card. I mean, this thing packs a punch. Like 4 power, evasive creature on a 2-drop just gets you dead so fast. And as you mentioned, it has this downside of distribute counters against opposing creatures, but hey, sometimes you face a battlefield like this where your opponent doesn't have a creature.
Perfect.
Sometimes you as a Dimir player just have 100 black removal spells in your hand, so you get to kill whatever you're distributing counters on. So there are lots of ways to sort of de-emphasize or make that downside of Sunset Saboteur not a compelling factor in the game.
Yeah, 100%. So now we're going to see a couple creatures removed here or braided away from Jess. So keeping creatures off the board.
Yeah, and meaningfully, Jess able to kill the Tishana's Tidebinder, which can turn back on the Agatha Soul Cauldron. So we'll note, you know, looking at the battlefield, Jess is far behind. They could be facing a lethal attack in 2 turns with the Sunset Saboteur. You know, there's a Soulstone Sanctuary. There's these flying creatures. However, if there's a way back into the game, it's going to involve, let's drop a creature, let's put a counter on it with Soul Cauldron, use Vivi to explode out and really stabilize the board all in one big turn.
Owie. That hurt. That was a big swing there. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, down to 5 goes Jess. So do or die time now for the Is It Cauldron player. And Zachary looking pretty comfortable.
Does Jess have a creature in hand? Apparently not yet.
Yep, not what you want to see. Looked like a Soulstone Sanctuary. I can talk off the top of the library there for Jess. That's the land for turn. And yeah, I don't think there's a critter in sight, unfortunately, for game number 1. End step activation, another attacker. in the army here for Zachary. Go to combat, swing, and dead. So, game number 2. Let's go to sideboards here now. Dimir mid-range, obviously a known quantity in this metagame. Is a Cauldron players would have been expecting it. So how does the sideboard, or how does the main deck configuration change now as we go to sideboard?
Okay, so from Zachary's side, the main sideboard card is going to be a Null. Tishana's Tidebinder was put to excellent use in that game 1. So Zachary with 2 in the main deck, 2 in the sideboard, access to all 4 if he chooses that approach that he wants them. I also noticed those 4 strategic betrayals, which makes me ask, has Zachary identified that as a key card in his plan against Izzet?
Yeah, 4 is substantial.
Now, if we were really sharp, we might be able to get a hint at what Zachary's doing, because he's sideboarding face down, but he's sort of counting out the cards. So it's like, okay, 2 + 1 + 4, is that, does that mean the 4 strategic betrayals are coming in? I'm not sure, but, this is something that you can sometimes get some hints if you watch the way people sideboard.
And then from Jess's side of things, what are they going to be bringing in?
Well, Fire Magic is an interesting one because I wouldn't name that as a universally strong card against Dimir, but it can line up well, A
bunch of one toughness creatures,
Yeah, you get to tag those Spyglass Sirens before they get map counters, Enduring Flood Pit's Drowner. Some people have Deep Cavern Bat, though Zachary happens to not play that particular card. But Fire Magic is a really effective way to kill off Sunset Saboteur on a 1-for-1 basis without having to pay the ward cost. So, a little bit of a guessing game here. I think if I was Jess, I would be really looking at the Fire Magic. There are some ways that Zachary can sideboard and or navigate the game such that he, minimizes his exposure to it.
Sure.
But that's a card that let's keep an eye on for the post-board games here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which of these cards have a big impact on game number 2 here as we get ready for that. Both of these players are at 10-3. They are 1 round away, I would say, from locking up a top 8. Still pretty good record, but it's going to be tricky being X-3.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because this is not a stone cold, clean-cut win-in that we're watching. It's the player who wins is going to get an 11th win and then be playing to try to get to 12-3 in the last round. So sort of in that mix, the tiebreaker scrum of, if these players can win the last 2 rounds and have their tiebreakers hold up, we'll see them in the top 8, but they're definitely not there yet.
Have you cracked any awesome cards lately? Maybe you opened a Vivi or Nitier in your Final Fantasy pack. Well, sell it while it's hot. We want to buy your cards. Get great prices, 30% trade-in bonus. You can easily upload whatever you want to sell, and you can get excellent value off of them at sellyourcards.starcitygames.com. So definitely go and check that out. There are plenty of ways to do it. Otherwise, just come to an event and sell your cards directly to Star City Games here. And then you can just buy some more cards in exchange. Because you can buy lots of cards for the cost of 1 VV. Did you know that?
Indeed.
Man, when I saw VV spoiled, I was like, oh, I can make such a cool commander deck out of this. And then, of course, everyone went ape over it. So, yeah. Let's have a look at one of our other feature matches here while we wait for our players to get shuffled up. Ryan Eliasson and Tyler Anderson are deep into game number 1 here. Tyler down to 4 on Izzet Cauldron, mono red aggro, doing mono red aggro things. And let's see if Tyler can stabilize here and pull out a win before death.
Yeah, so the live look is interesting because the first thing you notice is, okay, what's going on the battlefield? We've got some creatures. We've got a Soul Cauldron. Then your eyes drift to what's going on with the life totals. And, 20 against 4. Tyler Anderson just unable to stabilize and winds up picking him up against the mono-red player.
So, game 1 wrapped up over there on one of the other tables.
Yeah, so Zachary's game 1 is really illustrative of what Dimir can do, where it's like, I'm going to get ahead early, I'm going to neutralize your game plan with a couple of well-placed disruptive pieces, and you're just dead.
Yeah.
I have these evasive, hard-hitting threats. I keep you off balance with the Tishana's Tidebinder and a removal spell, and that's it. So the combination of like fast clock and disruption is a hallmark of Dimir, and what makes it potent and what makes it able to steal games even in its like tricky matchups.
Let's take a look at one of our other backups here while we shuffle up on our main feature. Josh Moscow, Spencer Warburton. Is it Cauldron Mirror Match? And plenty going on here. We've got VVs, aplenty for Josh Moscow on top of the screen. And not so much happening down below there. Yes, we got counters on our Fear of Missing Out. We have a VV, but not doing nearly as much powerful things as Josh Moscow is currently doing.
Yeah, so certainly the battlefield seems to advantage Josh Moscow. He's got the VV under the Cauldron, which I would say is even more powerful than having VV on the battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes these games can be pretty swingy where, one player looks way ahead, then the other player gets a turn and has an explosive go of their own, but looking pretty good for Josh in that one.
Yep. Back to our main feature match here. Jess gets things underway. Prophetic Memory, the first play of the game. And finding all the lands, deploying Marauding Mako, followed up here nicely by a Fear of Missing Out. So pretty much a perfect start here for Jess.
Yeah, and after both players took a mulligan, so it looks like Zachary just really suffering from like mulligan plus being on the draw, not really doing much, though there are plenty of instant speed plays that Dimir could have access to. Meanwhile, Jess just able to resolve some potent threats, getting the cards flowing with Fear of Missing Out and Prophetic Memory.
Shoot the Sheriff takes care of the non-outlaw creature there, Marauding Mako. He's a naughty boy. He doesn't get taken out by Shoot the Sheriff, so that gets to stick around.
Such a good point.
Believe me, many times I've tried to kill that guy, and he just don't die. Ooh, hi, Skittles. Lord Skitter's Blessing. No, this is Lord Skitter Sewer King. So this starts making little rats, and every time a rat enters, it exiles something in the yard. So a nice little piece of hate here for Zachary.
Yeah, nabbing the Winter Night stories is just so potent here. Like, that was discarded to the Fear of Missing Out, trying to set up for later, but that's going to get neutralized, and especially in a game where both players are mulliganed, it could be one that Jess had kind of been counting on.
Steam Core Scholar joins the battlefield. Couple lands get chucked into the yard. Marauding Mako becomes very large. I'm very glad those rats can't block, because otherwise Lord Skitter would just be in every deck.
Yeah, that was a really interesting sort of design choice in the Wilds of Eldraine set, making the rats unable to block.
Yeah.
Similar with the Decayed Zombies from the Innistrad set, where being able to, say a token can't block gives you a lot more sort of artistic freedom to have people generating tons of tokens, because it doesn't prolong the game or effectively neutralize opposing attackers. So
oh my, Strategic Betrayal, oh gosh, and Tragic Trajectory, that is just bored down. Zachary is on a killing spree.
Yeah, so I think our theory is validated that Zachary, at least for the game on the draw, reached for those 4 strategic betrayals as this is my plan against Is It Cauldron. I'm just going to kill everything, make sure you never have a graveyard to set up your Harmonize or your VV Cauldron, and ride my single potent threat like Lord Skitter to victory.
Yeah. I do think one of those creatures shouldn't be exiled, though, because Strategic Betrayal was first and then it was Tragic Trajectory, or does that exile as well?
So I think it was Strategic Betrayal, and then Lord Skitter's ability 8, the creature that was killed, that was set on a Tragic Trajectory.
Got you. That makes sense then. Okay. So yeah, Graveyard is going to be very tricky for Jess to keep as a resource here. Lord Skitter taken care of, courtesy of an Abrade. So just 2 little rats, but these 2 little rats can very well get the job done. Chip it in here now for 2 more damage. Down to 14 goes Jess. Zachary is playing at a rapid pace here. Feeling pretty comfortable once again.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he wants to be doing. Notably, he could have animated and attacked with Soulstone Sanctuary, so kind of hinting that he might have an instant speed play, or at least wants to keep his intentions hidden for the moment.
Jess having to think here.
It doesn't sound that bad to me for Jess to just spend their turn harmonizing Winter Night Stories, get a little bit of value in a scrappy game. But no, actually just passing perhaps to do Soulstone Sanctuary on that side of the battlefield as well.
Block one of the rats. Soulstone in for 3. Another rat in for 1. So down to 10 goes Jess.
Some interesting, player banter, gamesmanship, where Zachary kind of hinted like, okay, we're going to trade Soulstone Sanctuaries. And Jess said, no. I'm blocking your rat token. I want this to stick around to maybe benefit from some Proph's Eidetic memory counters, maybe cheapen my harmonized play. And the fact that Zachary was not able to kill the Soulstone is quite meaningful for Jess's prospects. Okay, we've got a judge question.
And like you mentioned, Proph's Eidetic memory, because now this turn, if we have another card draw available, which I believe we do, even if we have for the Winter Nights with another land, we will be able to get this Soulstone Sanctuary bigger than Zachary's. Great attacker, great blocker. Certainly don't want to trade that away at the first combat.
So while Jess asked a question of the judge, I do want to bring attention back to Zach's use of these Soulstone Sanctuaries. So, he really is taking pains to pass the turn with mana available. Yeah. So, could it be an instant speed play, a counterspell, a flash creature? It doesn't look like it's a removal spell because of the fact that the Soulstone Sanctuary lived on Jess's side of the battlefield. But Zach is, meaningfully giving something up by not main phase activating these Soulstone Sanctuaries. If he had just activated the first one, got in for an extra 3, then activated the second one, got in for an extra 6, Jess would be at 4 in a really close, scrappy game. So this is not to criticize, because I don't know what Zach's hand or play or intention is in the game, strategy, but just definitely giving something up in terms of not just forcing the maximum amount of damage in a close game like this.
Yeah, pretty measured approach here in terms of damage, and now we have Unable to Scream on the stack. So will we see an activation of the other Soulstone Sanctuary? Doesn't look like it, so just going to be a little 0-2 hanging out there. Jess able to shut down that blocker. Yeah, no card draw, so able to get in for 3 points of damage potentially if Zach doesn't want to block. Yep, 3 damage dealt, down to 12. Now, what else is in hand there for Jess? Was that a braid maybe? Or a... Oh, okay. Hi, kitty. Ah, that's not too shabby. So, end step, flashing in, Enduring Curiosity.
Another play that could have been made in Zachary's main phase, but perhaps the two are just playing this cat and mouse where, I don't want to make my big play into your open mana. I want to pick... Yeah,
it's cat and rat.
Cat and rat, indeed.
Yeah.
And the Soulstone Sanctuary is a mouse, too.
True,
so
yes, you're right, you're right.
Technically correct.
You got me there,
is the best kind of correct.
Absolutely. Another rat down. Kitty Cat gets in for 4. So just going down to 6 now. Card drawn for Zachary, so we'll love to keep that card advantage flowing. I was trying to peep the lands there to see if we had any Restless Reefs hidden there, but I don't think so. I don't think Zachary's got that just yet.
This has been a fascinating game with a lot of options available to both players. Again, Jess has that Winter Night Stories in the graveyard with some opportunities to harmonize it. Has elected not to in favor of spending mana in different ways, but just close game, a number of options, a lot of unintuitive or non-obvious choices from both players.
Yeah. Steam Core Scholar here hits the board and discards a Fire Magic. Floodpit's Drowner enters the fray here for Zachary. So yeah, lots of stuff to do here on Jess's turn that he's been holding on to for these couple turns. response, we're going to blow some stuff up. A braid, so Kitty Cat dies, comes back as an enchantment. At least that's one big thing off the board. No attack. Unable to attack. Animate the land on the end step there for Zachary, so 3 creatures to work with. Is this dice on the board just hanging out? Or is that the stun counter?
Stun counter.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so the Soulstone Sanctuary has 2 +1/+1 counters from the Eidetic Memory.
Yeah.
And it has a stun counter from the Floodpit Drowner.
Yeah, alright. In for an attack. Scholar has to jump in the way, so is going to trade there.
So now Zachary has the choice, do I want to activate the Floodpit Drowner to permanently get rid of your Soulstone Sanctuary, or am I happy to just trade off against the Scholar?
Okay.
He decides the latter.
So Scholar down, no more flying threats. Jess needs some blockers here, Reed. Currently, they have none. Okay, hi Vivi. You got some work to do here, little guy. Never mind. That is going to do it. Zachary picking up the win there with the end, spelling the end of that game. 2-0 here in round 14. So he seemed very confident, super comfortable in that matchup.